Joining us now in the studio is senior Israeli diplomat Danny Ayalon to analyze what kind of impact the Turkish Israeli agreement will have on the future of the Jewish state. Thanks for coming in.
My pleasure.
So, to begin, how important is it for Israel to have a positive relationship with Turkey?
Well, it's very important. Both Israel and Turkey are the two countries which are non-Arab. Aside from Iran, in the Middle East, we have enjoyed very, very natural cooperation, strategic cooperation for so many years, until the era of Erdogan, which is an Islamist, and he kind of turned the relations very, very sour. But today there is an attempt to correct it. I don't think that it will ever go back to the intimacy that we had before, but certainly when it comes to the geopolitics of the region, when it comes to the energy policies, economic benefits, it's very good for the region, certainly for Israel and Turkey.
So I want to talk more about how this is going to affect Israel's diplomatic status, but first let's talk about the specifics of this agreement. Now, we just found out that Israel is going to be giving $20 million in monetary compensation to the victims of the Mavi Marmara incident, and that's received a lot of lashback from Israeli government officials who feel that in a way Israel's kind of admitting some type of wrongdoing in doing that. What is your take on that?
Well, certainly it leaves a bitter taste, but we have to understand the nuances. It's not that Israel is admitting anything. On the contrary, by the way, we were exonerated by an international commission that was appointed by the Secretary General of the UN, that we had the right to do it according to marine law. But in any case, we are not paying directly to the victims or to the families of the terrorists, but we are creating a fund, a humanitarian fund. So this is how politics bridges the two opposing views between us and Turkey, and the Turkish government will divvy up the money. But I think what's important for us is that Turkey is going to legislate a law which will prevent them ever to press any charges or to file lawsuits against any of the Israeli soldiers.
Yeah. So, let's talk about Hamas and Turkey. This a big, troublesome subject here in Israel. Right now we've seen people protesting about ensuring that Hamas returns the bodies of Israeli soldiers, and they've wanted Turkey to essentially demand that from Hamas. Right. Can Israel really depend on Turkey to do that?
Well, this may have been a missed opportunity because, well, they are not in Turkey's hands, right? But Turkey has a lot of leverage over Hamas. Hamas is pretty much isolated in the Arab world. Certainly, Egypt sees it as an enemy because they are subverting with the Islamic Brotherhood in Cairo and Sinai. So Turkey almost is their only channel to the outside world. So certainly, Turkey could have used more leverage, and I believe we, should have thought about a package deal, whereby maybe we allow a few Hamas terrorists that we have to go back into Gaza, and we get the missing soldiers' bodies, and the two Israelis who are also there, 4 altogether.
I guess this is a bigger question, that I have. How can Israel continue to maintain positive relationships, with Turkey, given the fact that Turkey is allowing Hamas to work on Turkish soil?
Yes, and here also, according to the commitment that the Turks took upon themselves, is that they will not allow and monitor the activities of Hamas, so Hamas cannot finance terrorism, and Hamas certainly cannot operate and direct terrorism. Of course, this will be something that we will have to monitor very, very closely.
Right, because, we're looking at Hamas and how they feel about Israel. That's not necessarily changing.
Right.
So, going back to the bigger picture, what kind of impact is this going to have on Israel's diplomatic status in the world right now?
Well, I think it enhances our status. We have now very good relations with many, many countries, whether it's Greece or Cyprus, which are very much rivals of Turkey, but it doesn't come on expense of the relations with them. We have very good relations with Russia, which right now are in loggerheads with Turkey, and I think it adds also to the stability in the region. The two of, I would say, the regional powers, most significant powers, are normalizing their relations. And of course, I think commerce, investments, tourism, energy. Turkey is a very, very large market for Israeli natural gas. So I think both sides are benefiting.
Well, hopefully we can look forward to more positive relations between the two countries now that this agreement has been signed. Thank you so much for coming in.
My pleasure.